Carnival of Cricket in Sano continues. The Japan Premier League, the 10th edition 2025 is here at the Sano International Cricket Ground. Match day 1, happy to report that we'll have a 15 over a side match in the morning's fixture. Quite frankly, an unbelievable job being done here by the JCA, those working tirelessly on the ground, as well as the players helping out as well. We're on field number 1 here for the showcase morning game. It's East versus West, East Kanto versus West Kanto, again at the SICG. Beautiful day here in Sano. We had plenty of rain yesterday, which caused a few headaches and struggles, but happy to report that there is, from what I can see, not a cloud in the sky, and I'm delighted to be joined by Garth Thomas in the commentary box. Good afternoon. Now, Garth, konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa, Daniel. It's a pleasure to be here, and yeah, what a 3 days of cricket coming up here. Certainly will be an interesting start. Of course, last year's champions, the East Kanto Sunrisers, starting out. Ground number 1 here. There will be a delay on ground number 2 for those listening in. As Daniel mentioned, a lot of rain here yesterday in Sano. And it's just a matter of a few wet spots in that outfield. But we will get underway here, and as you say, 15 over match. Should be an exciting one.
Yeah, 3 overs per bowler. And East Kanto, the defending champions, as you rightly point out, under captain and Japan men's national team senior captain Kendall Kadawaki Fleming winning the toss and electing to bat. Maybe a couple of eyebrows raised given the wet nature around, maybe wanting to chase, but still pretty confident in his decision to do so. It's been a brilliant week of cricket here in Japan on a number of fronts. Of course, we will discuss it at great length, I'm sure. Friendships are put to one side as rivals go head to head here at the Japan Premier League. Munib Sadiq to open the bowl, or where's my numbers are out here. First ball of the Japan Premier League, 10th edition. With a false start.
False start it is. Entirely happy with his run up there. A
little bit tricky with the wet conditions that we've had here. The run-ups are always a key concern. The square gets covered, but a lot of places are losing that luxury of having the run-ups done as well. Underway this time. Shot into the leg side. The power play, of course, just the 2 fielders committed outside the circle. Both square of the wicket. Probably signals to me, Garth, at some stage not digging a little bit shorter. Maybe not using the facilities and the new ball as much. Take on the 45 fielder. Ball through. Chance to see the marquee man for East Kanto, Mitchell Jamison. Looks great of Victoria, finds his trade, young right-hander, wide stance. Prolific year in grade cricket down in Melbourne. Of course, a big Australian connection here at the tournament. That one just leaps on Jamison a little bit. Top edge, no slip in place, and little streaky, but 4 to his name to begin the campaign. Garth, it's been a brilliant week or so in Japan cricket qualifying for the Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup, Asian Games, participation or inclusion or re-inclusion confirmation as well. Pull on the pads of Jamison. Maybe this one just holding up a fraction. It's a little bit, I know we're only halfway through the first over here, but a little bit of a two-pace kind of nature to the surface. We kind of expect given the conditions that we've had.
Yeah, as you say, Daniel, a brilliant week of news for Japan cricket. The future looking very bright for the game here and in the nation.
Down the track comes Jamison. Of course, Kendall Cuttawaki coming out there was part of the staff. Rayo Sakurana-Thomas, of course, head coach, senior international, a man you know obviously very well. I'm sure a lot of emotion, Rayo, at times, I've noticed. But it's been a happy week for him, I'm sure.
Yeah, fair comment. But I'm sure he would be thrilled, as you say, alongside Kendall Cuttawaki Fleming and Duncan Harrison also over here helping out.
Adjustment by Manib straight to the cover fielder, so good opportunity to just get a feel for the conditions. Jamison, first ball boundary, ended the over, 5 for no loss. Talk about the newer system in place in the formats here for this competition, a draft system, but just going back to that Under-19 World Cup qualification, obviously a huge achievement. We know that they were there obviously in 2020. The circumstances were a little bit different, but a truly dominant week, I think, in Japan Under-19s cricket. I know you watched quite a bit of it from a distance and having sort of driven down to Sano in the last 24 hours or so, but quite clearly the best of the three teams there and fitting for them to go on to qualify for a World Cup.
Yeah, they certainly were, and it's almost like the tide is changing in EAP, isn't it, with Papua New Guinea having been the dominant nation in the region. The Under-19s put a stop to that, having beaten them just for the second time. They beat them a couple of years earlier at the Darwin tournament, where they finished second to New Zealand. But this time, a dominant performance from the Under-19s. And
Zumakato Stafford, of course, a member of that Under-19 squad that went through, takes on his fellow senior international teammate and captain in Kendall Cuttawaki Fleming.
Yeah, good matchup this one, isn't it? Seeing the youth taking on the experienced figure, captain, of course, of Japan cricket, Kendall Cuttawaki Fleming. Scored over 1,400 runs now in international T20 cricket.
On the up goes Jamison, slicing away and wide of the fielder at deep backward point for a boundary. Just a little overpitched from Carter Stafford on that occasion, and Jamison's not going to turn down the opportunity.
Yeah, players will be aware of the field dimensions here, Daniel, that probably is the shortest part of the boundary. Probably would be, what, 50 metres perhaps, where the field 1 overlaps with ground 2. Fleming well aware of that.
For a moment there, I thought he chopped on. A good comeback from Carter Stafford. Had a brief chat to him in the build-up to today, and he was saying he was a little bit sore after the Under-19 campaign, as you could probably imagine. Not only opening the bowling with his left-arm pace, but also a key member of that middle order. He came good with the bat a little bit later into the tournament. He worked his way in with the bat, but most experienced member of the Under-19 international team ever. Most appearances as well. Down the leg side, well shuffled into a vacant pocket. It'll only be 2 though.
Yeah, Kato Stafford, he's played a lot of cricket in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Of course, prior to the international series, they were on tour in Singapore, and then having come back from Singapore, they had the Futures League, which is the top cricketers in Japan under 23 level. So, yeah, I guess he's Probably also coming off the back of an Australian season.
Yeah. Big shout from Cutter Stafford. It was full enough. It's the question maybe of the line. We do run one. We'll just wait and see. It looks like it's been given runs anyway. Take an opportunity in a moment here to run through the teams. First punter losing the toss and being told to bowl first. Hugo Tani Kelly, Jake Sudanan, Kazuma Cutter Stafford, as we mentioned, Lachlan Yamamoto, Lake Min, Sadiq. Bowled him! And that's a big breakthrough. He gets his senior international captain and makes an almighty mess of the stumps.
Yeah, doesn't he love it? The emotion you can see in Cutter Stafford. He carried on, and didn't he enjoy that? Clapping his Japan national captain off. I saw a fair bit of that in the under-19s, Danny. I wasn't afraid
to let them know. There was a little bit of niggle in the contest, which was good to see. I quite enjoyed the competitiveness, and everyone off the field was pretty amicable. But as soon as they crossed over the boundary rope, it was on for young and old. I'm not sure if there was a heap of movement in that one. Maybe just a fraction in, if anything. But it's a big scalp and an early breakthrough for the Hurricanes. Just running through the lineup there, and we were interrupted by the wicket falling. Hugo Tani Kelly, another member of the under-19 World Cup qualification squad. Jake Sudanan, Kazuma Cutter Stafford, as I said, Lachlan Yamamoto, Lake Min, Sadiq, Muhammad Ali, Ryan Drake, who I'm sure we'll see with the ball relatively soon. The local under-19 hero, Ruki Ozeki, Shubin Chukwu, Vinay Iyer, and Ataru Miyuchi, of course, the captain and keeping wicket as well. And so, Jamison faces up to Sadiq after losing his opening partner. And goes hard over the rope for 6. I don't think he got all of it, but enough muscle in the right-hander there to lift over cover.
Yeah, shot of the day so far. Glorious shot over cover's head. Just watched it sail over the rope, probably 1-2 metres over the rope. The full maximum. And,
just noticing some movement on field 2. Looks like the Kansai Chargers are at least warming up. So hopefully some good news from over there. We'll keep you posted. Tries to give himself some room there, but maybe that wicket ball just holding up in the surface a fraction. Quite frankly, it's actually a miracle that we've got morning action, or the morning matches on today. I've got to say, you came down last night. I'm not sure how much it was pouring down rain as you set sail here, but watching out the restaurant window yesterday was depressing. Full again on the updraft. That was a tough chance. It came hard. It looks like it's Hugo Tani Kelly actually at short cover.
yeah, it just didn't stick, did it? He moved well to his left, but either stick or they don't. What's the talk from Miyuchi, the wicket keeper?
Down the leg side, and if you just can't quite clean up behind the stumps, wait. Signal for the umpire here. It's given it wide. I thought maybe the shuffle across might have made that look a little bit straighter, but not in the eyes of the umpire. So come back from Steve in the block hole.
So Jamison's a member of the Melbourne Stars Academy, is that right,
Yeah,
Daniel?
so there is, it might be the Renegades Academy, bear with me. Should write that down. One of the BBL franchises down there. Renegades Academy. And there's been quite a list of Renegades alumni who have gone on to do some pretty impressive things in the game. Jake Fraser McGurk is probably the name that sort of jumps out recently. Yeah, Jamison, he made a knock of 75, just 46 balls against the Stars Academy in that sort of build-up. I think it was the beginning of last summer, so plenty of potential there. Trying to heave into the offside. Meanwhile, Abhishek Anand at the other end is being able to watch the whole over of Sadiq into the end of his second and the third of innings, 22 for 1. He's a keen golfer as well, Mitch Jamison. Haven't scrolled through his Instagram, there's a pretty tidy swing in there as well. I'm not sure what he plays off the, if I was to hazard a guess, it'd be in maybe the high single digits. Might be doing him a disservice there. I'm sure someone on the stream might be able to correct me.
Yeah, 1 of 5 Australians have made the trip over to this JPL. Number 10, the 10th edition. It just seems to be growing in stature, Daniel. Every year seems to get better and better, so it's great having the experience of these players coming in. I'm sure that domestic players in Japan here will learn a lot from them. Stafford to start his second over.
Yeah, it's one thing I noticed this morning when all the teams sort of had a net together and there was a lot of kind of cross-pollination between the group. There was sort of a lot of taking in, a lot of watching James Baisley try and whack everything in the nets, which is good to see. Josh Brown's the marquee of the marquees, and Baisley, if he's not level with him, he's a very close second. But it's good to see that there's already, the mingling, there's already some learning in there. Loads up on that occasion, but straight to wide mid-off. Yeah, you've seen, quite a few of these tournaments over the years. What do you kind of make, I suppose, of recent times and the way that the competition has sort of developed in that time?
Well, as you say, the draft system, that was new to this edition. But look, just the quality of players has improved over, I guess this is my third tournament that I've been here in Sano for.
Slow ball from Puttle Stafford there.
But
get off the mark.
As you say, last year we saw Josh Brown in action, and boy, what entertainment it was. I watched him on number 1 here, had a 122, I think it was, and finished on. Put a dent in the tea room. A little memory for the spectators that enjoyed. Huge hitting.
On the up and just wide of the mid-off fielder who was interested for a little while there. They'll come back for a second. Yeah, you make a good point. The draft system just adds a little added kind of drama to it all. Of course, they had sort of 4 retained players on the pre-selection, and then the marquee group of 5 were done in a round of drafting, and then in phase 3 you had your overseas players, remaining men's international day squad members, under 19 performers. You had the right to retain 2 of your players. You swipe that into the leg side and none. Only be the one though. You were able to kind of trigger your right to retain card if a team was to take a player that you had the season before. You just added a level of intrigue. You could see, watching the draft there, the cogs were ticking over in the brains of everyone there, and sly messages on the side between staff and captains of respective teams as well. and trying to load up, but after Stafford up to the standard and level as we've come accustomed to seeing from him.
Yeah, the nine previous editions of the JPL have only seen two teams that have not held the trophy. Those two teams being Kanto Chargers and North Kanto. Is the team that's won the most trophies, South Kanto Super Kings. They've won it 4 times. But in action in front of us, the current champions, East Kanto, winning it last year in a really entertaining battle. I remember a key moment was Kendall Karawaki Fleming, who was having a bowl. I think he just bowled perhaps 2 overs in the tournament, but he took an all-important wicket of his brother, Alistair, who was going along nicely in the chase, and it was a big moment in the match.
You get Tony Kelly in. On the up again. And Nunn just creating that width for himself to work over cover, but out of the middle of the bat. I actually brought up that wicket with Kendall yesterday. I looked at the scorecard and I thought, I don't think I've ever seen Kendall bowl. And he said, yeah, no, I came on and caught him bowled and see Alistair, bye.
Must have got inside his head, you know. Hugo Kelly, one of the stars for the under-19 outfit. Not forget his innings in Dubai, may have been last year, the year before against India, made a 50. Just seeing.
It worked out to the leg side. It's just the one. At the moment, this and a lot of faith being put into the youngster here, bowling inside the power play here. Still just the 2 fielders out, both on the leg side and 2 right-handers. This is a tough test against 2 good players, and this is the type of experience that everyone's sort of craving. Ties Jamison up a little bit. He thought he had an easy one there, but
yeah, just a bit of indecision there between the 2 batsmen. Probably could have passed comfortably, but in the end, it was a safer option.
Down the track line for a moment, I thought that short mid-wicket was going to be in the game. Look at that running it. Well run too. Gone, is he? Yes!
Got him.
Completely done the Aussie marquee, and Hugo Tani Kelly's magical week continues. Maybe a little bit premeditated because Jamison didn't get to the pitch of the ball. Not that Tani Kelly minds too much. Big moment, and the youngsters of the West Kanto Hurricanes pulling through for Wataru Miyauchi.
Miyauchi, of course, would have been one of the players retained from West Kanto. He's led this team for many a year now. Led the team to the victory in 2023 and 2021. Of course, he knows each of his players so well, does Wataru Miyauchi, current member of the Japanese national squad. He'll be thrilled with the start his team's made here.
Not short of organised keepers in Japan as well. Miyauchi, one of them, of course, and a couple in the under-19 set up as well, coming through as well.
And of course, Alex Shidai Patmore.
Yeah. Plenty of competition, and that's what you want now. There's always, looking at the squads this week, for this weekend, and you're struggling to find a weak link, such as the depth around Japanese cricket at the moment, and definitely setting the benchmark in the region from an associate point of view. And You see the first of Ryan Drake, arguably the quickest bowler here. And he begins with a no ball. So the opportunity here for Abhishek Anand to load up on a free hit.
Yeah, Ryan Drake, he made the trip across from Sydney for this tournament. Based in Sydney is Ryan. I'm going to check to his parents this morning, Paul and Yuki. Plays his cricket for Sydney University. Was that Mossman? He was recently made the change. Of course, he's studying.
Free hit just shuffled across from Anand. There'll only be one. Yeah, I used to run into him a little bit actually. When I lived in Epping, he actually lived around the corner. And it was quite, I don't know if it was serendipity or not, but I remember walking past one day and I'm trying. Hey Ryan, had a brief chat and realised that we lived about 2 streets away there for a period of about 3 months there before I moved elsewhere. But it's funny where the game can take you sometimes, and Japan's probably the best example of that. And EAP, there's a lot of crossover. Maxionakawa Lin, who plays at the University of New South Wales, played against his club teammate in the recent Under-19 World Cup qualifier in Manav Narayan of Fiji. There's always a crossover. She saw a PG Japan matchup in the Brisbane Premier Cricket Grand Final. Just finished as well. Just angled down the offside for Kendall Katawaki Fleming's club team in Brisbane Norths. They think it's Sunshine Coast, and featuring and the leading wicket taker for the Sunny Coast club team is PNG's all-rounder Chad Soper. And so always a connection, especially in Queensland. There's a lot in the AP, both PNG and Japan. You've got quite a contingent of a number of players based in that part of the world, and a place where I think the JCA are looking to kind of base some sort of training camp at some point. Good comeback from Drake. Still leaks the single.
Yeah, you just have to look through that list of the under-19 players, don't you, to see 3 or 4 out of the Brisbane area.
And as you mentioned before, Darwin qualified for an under-19 World Cup there, and I'd be very surprised if they don't put one up in somewhere like a Mackay or a Townsville or even Brisbane. Into the leg side. I think maybe the one downside, I suppose, Ryan Drake, of course, that national team fast bowler, sometimes on his day he's unplayable. He's genuinely unplayable. Like, remember a spell against Vanuatu in that PNG T20 World Cup qualifier in Port Moresby at Amini Park, but he doesn't get into that rhythm early. Sometimes he just struggles to just lose his radar a little bit, but at his best, there's few in the region that are more potent than him. It's gone high up. There's a chance. A man underneath it. It looks like Tani Kelly again. Holds on. Ryan Drake might have just held that one back a fraction. Gets his man.
Took forever to come down, but positioned himself well, did Tony Kelly, and safely taken. 3 wickets down. 35 runs on the board at the this is the 6th over, 2 balls remaining. Sorry, 1 ball remaining.
I think they would have taken this had you offered it to them at the toss. Look, it may be just a tad slow with the inclement weather that we've had. It brings out 2 new batters essentially. Ben Nicol Davis, hint that his punter, we barely had a chance to speak about him. The action has been for the Hurricanes thus far in the West. The Yoshi Takada.
Yeah, it is. It's Takari at the wicket. No play yet on ground 2. Kansai Chargers warming up. I'll keep you updated on that score.
Bat on ball to begin, but straight to the short cover. 6 overs gone, 35 for 3. And yeah, with this match reduced to 15 overs aside, 9 overs remaining. You can see what desired kind of score that you want to kind of put up in this situation. You know the wicket's a bit fresh, and you've seen a couple of little demons in it, purely from a weather point of view more than anything. Interesting to see what the chat is through the betting field and Kendall Kadawaki Fleming and the man in the East Council dugout as to what the defendable score is.
Hugo Tani Kelly with ball in hand, just making some field adjustments. This will be his second over. Currently 1 for 5.
Driven down the ground by Itzel Davis, and he's got a pretty flexible role inside the JCA at the moment. Also handles the social media page as well, so if that's a little bit dormant today, you can probably understand why. He's in the middle of turning out for his team.
Another great addition, Benjamin Ito Davis, to the Japanese squad. Had a very successful tournament in South Korea end of last year, of course, qualifying for what will later be
On the up. Oh, and put down again. Another tough chance. Reflexes at short cover.
a valiant attempt. Got both hands to it, but with the power of the shot, it just burst through his hands.
Looks like it's Jake sort of nan there at short cover.
Certainly stopped the boundary.
Davis rocks back, but straight to point. Of course, we need to inform the public watching on that West Council are also without their marquee player today, in Josh Brown.
Yes.
A few little logistic hurdles in coming over to Japan. We'll talk about that in a moment. Maybe at the over break there's a big story there. Just slightly mishit. And we'll pick up at least one. Takada's lightning. Takada got in and out really quickly there. Turn 1 into 2. Yeah, wet passport was what cost Josh Brown an on-time entry into Japan. He is on his way.
The question is, what was the liquid, Daniel? I hear it was cologne.
Mix up. Oh. He's going to make his ground. Yeah, that's a bad beat, because water. You think she'll buff out. The cologne, unfortunately, the stain that it leaves. Toiletries and your travel documents probably don't really want them in the same compartment there, but maybe a lesson to learn, I suppose, from that. The old emergency passport as well came through for him. Ended the over meanwhile in all of that, 39 for 3. That's always a nightmare though. It's the last thing you're thinking about. Of course, you know you've got your passport in your hand, you're thinking, bang, ready to go. Hand it in, and they say, look, we'll take it, but we don't think Japan are going to take it on the other side. So we're going to say you should probably think about travelling today. Here's Drake to continue. Up into the offside, 1-1.
Of course, Ryan Drake making his debut for Japan back in 2022 in October, part of the successful squad that won their EAP qualification was at that stage. He's been in and out of the Japan squad since. Didn't make the trip to South Korea late last year.
It's a little tickle to the keeper. Miyauchi takes the catch. West Kanto in cruise control.
Yeah, it's a good line, wasn't it, this one?
Yeah, tucked him up, and yeah, clearly off the face of the bat. A little bit of extra bounce for Drake too. Drinks get raced out onto the ground for a bowling and fielding group who have ticked all the boxes to begin the campaign. You're in career for that sub-regionals where Japan were reasonably comfortable in qualification. What did you kind of make of that group and almost shades of the under-19s in a way where there's only really going to be one winner? Still have to kind of earn it though.
Yeah, I want to say day one was the closest of the whole tournament. Japan just getting up over the Philippines by the solitary run. But yeah, it was certainly a spinner's wicket, and I think that played into their heads as far as the non-selection of Ryan Drake for that tournament.
Yeah.
The other pacers, Sakurano Thomas and Suzuki McComb, didn't play much of a role. One game, Japan had 19 overs of spin. But Ryan Drake, he started brilliantly here for his team. 2 for 5, just into his second over here.
Another no ball. It's the second one for, and then an opportunity for the new batter to get the jump leads out and a rocket into a quick start with the bat. Ibi Takahashi, a member of the Japan senior team, so a man who knows Ryan Drake very well. He's off spin a little bit later on too. Interesting point you bring up about that Oman tournament. Talk about it in a second. Free hit. Carved over the leg side for 6. A lot of power in that swing from Ibi Takahashi. It looked like it might have cramped him up a little bit there, but still had the power.
Yeah, it's a great shot, wasn't it? First up. Not easy to come out onto this wicket. But, as I say, just muscled it over the road. Good match up, this one. Well fielded at point there.
I think if you were to say how the sort of Ryan Drake operate, this has almost been a perfect sort of microcosm of what he is. He's taken 2 wickets and looked extremely dangerous in some parts, and just overstepped once or twice, and can be a real asset for Japan. Sometimes that kind of erratic nature, we actually saw it with Joanna Malala in the under-19, it actually can be a real trump card for you in some ways in 2020 cricket. I missed. I thought for a moment I was going to strike the helmet from 5. In the end, it doesn't. They had the 1. Had the particular buys there as well. The last ball coming up in this over, and probably a question for you in the over break, is that Oman is a place where we've actually seen in recent times the wickets have been really slow there, but it's been more almost. I don't want to call it, catering to the international team of Oman and their spade of spinners, but we have seen some life in that Oman deck at previous tournaments as well. Over the top. With chats of 2, in the end it won't matter because it'll roll over the rope for 4. Good way to finish for Benjamin Nittel Davis and the Sunrisers on their rebuild. 8 overs gone, 51 for 4. Let's check the replay here. The offside. I just want to bring back that question to you. I mean, we just quite frankly don't know what the wicket's going to be put up, what they're going to be like in Oman, and I would hazard a guess they will kind of stick to what they've done recently and keep them sort of slow and low. So going to be tough for someone like a Ryan Drake to actually squeeze into the squad just based on conditions, but just adds another little facet to that squad competition and what the selection panel are going to do.
Yeah, definitely. It's when I look at the men's Japan national squad, they currently have a 19 in the squad. Of course, they have a Japan A squad as well, which contains 15 players. But yeah, there'll be competition for spots, all right. I think back to those slow spinning wickets in South Korea. It was Ibi Takahashi and Charlie Hinds were the openers. Most of the games, I think Suzuki McCone and Sakurano Thomas may have had one or two spells opening, but as you know, Japan has a lot of depth and strength in their spin department.
Yeah, they certainly do. Another one here in the fold. Check Sudan.
Yeah, Drake last year doing some work for the JCA.
Oh, and that's a great delivery, hurrying him up. Going to roll to the rope. We'll await the signal. Maybe a little tickle past the keeper for 4.
Yeah, it's a good nut that one from Jake. Watching the replay there. But yeah, he was probably spent 6, perhaps 8 months in Japan working here in Sano. He's now back in the Gold Coast, Australia, but he's come over for the tournament. It's great to see the influx of players from around the world, Australia especially.
Protection out there. It'll just be one. Listening to Jake actually speak to his sister a couple of days ago in the tea room in Sano, and saying he's excited to still be here, primarily because Sachi Tarana is here helping out from a coaching point of view, and will likely help him from a spin bowling consultation effort. Good toss. Don't capitalise on the chance. Padarana played 23 internationals for Sri Lanka from 2015 to 2017. He's the captain their under-19 international team. On the up. Over, there is protection there. It looks like it's Lachlan Yamamoto Lake at deep extra cover. We'll see. Most certainly opening the batting in reply for West Kanto. Great over from Sudan. Looking for the boundary, but pulled it back nicely. 57 for 4. Ballpark figures here.
Well, it's a good little partnership, this one, isn't it? They needed it with East Kanto. 6 overs out. They'll be wanting to push over 100, wouldn't they? I'd be hoping, ideally, they can get to that figure, if not more.
This feels like it's just another question that with 3 things involved and not 2.
Psychological element, isn't it?
Sneak back. Changing ends, and that's a full toss that's been pulled into the leg side for what will be 2, plus the no ball. A free hit, so whilst they have been on top in this one, they've given up 3 chances with the freebies. Ball, free hit here. Sliced away. This will be tough chasing. He won't get there. Great batting from Benito Davis.
Yeah, clever shot, wasn't it? Just used the pace and You know, if he was square enough, would be a simple 4. He's batting well here, is Benjamin.
So the 3 free hits, 2 of them have been hit for boundaries, and 6 for Takahashi and 4 for Davis. Into an open pocket. There should be chat of 2 again here. In the end, they do really well to cut it off and keep it to 1 with 2 outfielders at mid-off and mid-on. Still only warming up on ground number 2 for now. Worked into the left side from Takahashi.
Again, nice work in the field. Cut off Stafford in off the boundary rope quickly, just aware that the batsmen were looking for 2 there. A real feature of this team, their fielding ability and putting pressure on the batsmen. Lots of chatter out there, usually led by Miyauchi.
I thought for a moment he might have got away with it. The arms were outstretched very, very late.
Still no play on ground 2.
Another big full toss. This one looks to have slipped underneath the waist this time. They'll run back for 2. Just a late confirmation on that. More signal of a no ball there. So get away with that one.
.30 runs now, this partnership worth. Something very much needed from Iskanto.
Should just be the one again here. Productive over already this. Good start of this for Iskanto in that final charge to win the innings. 4 balls gone wrong, so another re-bowl delivery here. I'm just intrigued by the sort of the team dynamics across teams actually on the other field. Sounds like in their little huddle. Split up, still warming up. Smart will turn back there. Takahashi. End of the 10th over. 71 for 4, and that over brings a nice little reassessment from an East Country point of view into what they think a defendable score would be.
Yeah, you're right. 6 balls ago, I was thinking 100, 110, but it's certainly given them a boost.
Off that over, the biggest over of the innings. Wide as well, so another ball to be re-bowled, and well, 7 and 14 the last 3 overs.
Let's drag that one down a bit for Jake, but that's when they were capitalised on it.
It definitely doesn't look like an easy wicket to bat on this, with the rain that we've had. think this will look just over points head. And scurry for 2, even with the good arm of Yamamoto Lake, it remains a double. And North Country still going through their warm-up. The outfielders doing some catching, bowlers doing their bowling. Runs like all huddled together on the other field as we await play over there. West Country here in green and yellow, green and gold, and West Country Hurricanes in pink and magenta. On the side, white signal.
Minimum number of overs being 5, is it, Daniel, to constitute a match?
I believe so, yeah.
Right.
Put some information on that. Hopefully some news on the other ground. So far the headline today has not been the weather, which we're thankful for, but also this nice little East Country rebuild. Richie's words from here behind the stumps. Sweat. Should be chat of 2 again, but I think, yeah, the man around has done a good job, just a little bit too close when maybe to think about the second. Final ball. Might have been outstretched arms, there were not. Now dot ball to finish, 77 for 4, 6 up again, so the man just doing enough to keep the 2 batters at bay.
Yeah, just looking down the list, Daniel, of who's likely to come in next for East Country. Probably Supran Navaratna, power hitter.
Cook will be turning over to the betting field and kind of like he's running his head, I'm sure. The name for the attack for West Consort.
And they, of course, coach of the Japanese women's team. We've got a busy schedule ahead, I believe, next couple of months. Certainly great to see this pitch here at Sano, the international teams that are visiting in the past few weeks and upcoming months. This team will be up against Mongolia, China, Hong Kong, China, and South Korea. Of course, the men's will be taking on the Cook Islands and Thailand in a few weeks' time. In fact, at the end of this tournament, there's 1 or 2 days break for tri-nations between those 2 countries in Japan.
Down the ground, Cook Islands actually turn out in colours not too dissimilar to the East Country Sunrisers. It'll be a great matchup actually, having watched both teams. The Cooks on the up through some great work with the association there and a couple of individuals really stepping up. Into the left side. They were a little bit, it was their own doing, but they were a little unlucky not to get through the sub-regionals in the Pacific side. Samoa were taking that spot and joining Japan and PNG from the AFP point of view in that hybrid qualifier in Oman, as you mentioned. They had the fate in their hands on the last day and just dropped their bundle. This has been swatted into the offside, and it's been hit so hard, it's a no doubt 6. The fielder at deep cover, watching it sail past. Some shot graph.
Yeah, it's all timing, isn't it? Didn't look to overhit it. Just lovely stroke. As we mentioned before, perhaps the shorter part of the boundary rope there. Still good 50 metres.
Reminds me, having seen it at this end, if that was to happen at the other end, the T-room's in danger. Full toss. There is a man out running across, but again, all he can do is watch.
Benjamin Ethel Davis. Accelerating now through to 36 of 23 balls. It's over 150 strike rate. It's just what the doctor ordered for his Iskanto.
Another big over. If you're a fan of the defending champions, 15 off usurping that over 2 overs ago. His first over goes for 15.
Suriname will be bowling his third and final here from the school end.
Done a great job here thus far for Suriname. Oh, there's an open pocket of the ground. This will be a long chase. He done enough?
I think he has. Yeah, brilliant fielding down there.
About 30 yards to cover there. In the end, just enough. Trying to get some eyes on the number down there. He's about 180 metres away from us. So
I can't help you out there, sorry, Daniel.
Great piece of fielding. They're just down the track. It should just be one. That has been struck hard and flat. Oh, for a moment, I thought the fielder was in the game there. In the end, he's probably done well to prevent a boundary. Oh, and he would have been rewarded with a wicket. He's bowled a great spell thus far. In the end, luckless for Jake Sudanan. I think this will be runs as well. Zaki out there, long on. He's thrown in last minute. Outside, wide signal.
We should mention the umpires, Adam Burrs and Bhutan Shukrov. Adam standing this end.
Oh, this has been launched. It's gone very high though. And Ozeki, it's just gone for 6. He did misjudge the catch opportunity. Had he been on the rope, there might have been a chance, but maybe Takahashi put plenty of power into this one.
Yeah, you've called it right, Daniel. He just misjudged that, didn't he? Just ran in probably 3-4 metres and then had to backtrack.
Great counter-attacking innings this. Looking to drag down and not take put the air into the ball. On that occasion, they still pick up 1. Big over. Things starting to happen. Another 16-run over to join the 15-run over previously. 108 for 4. And now we feel like mugs.
Yeah.
About
totally.
20 minutes ago, we thought 3 figures is probably a score that they can realistically defend. And I'm sure it could still be, but now they've exceeded all expectations here, and with 2 overs left, I don't want to say every run here is a bonus, but they have the opportunity to put themselves in a really good spot.
Yeah, it's been a great fight back from Iskanto through these two. Both Japan national squad members, Takahashi, Benjamin Ito Davis, have paired together well. They've actually run also well between the wicket. A lot of trust, good communication between these two. That wouldn't have batted, well, perhaps they would have played a bit together. And I think the last time Ibi Takahashi played for Chiba Sharks, this stone's gone long, and for the full maximum, 6 runs, and just stand and deliver.
Partnership now 75 of 37 balls. Completely turned this game upside down, this partnership. And you have to say, outside of maybe the one tough drop chance, that never really looked entirely troubled, but not quite easily. And it hasn't been down to really poor bowling either. Maybe a couple of loose balls in there from the spinners at times, but real positives here for East Kanto. They were put in a hole. And the players at 4, 5 and 6 standing up. Another good wide Yorker from Michael Stafford, coming back to finish his spell. 1 for 17. He has his name. He's been impressive. I think the last over, and we've got 2 options. It'll likely be either Drake or Tani Kelly. It might be a risk to go with the Austin, but in the same token, he has shown cool under pressure. It's a good delivery again from Michael Stafford.
Says you can just see him focusing on that line, can't you? He's not got protection of one man out on the boundary, sweeper area. But, Takahashi perhaps just looking to play it over point.
Different dynamic this. Someone like Michael Stafford under 19 level is genuinely quick and can probably raise through dive. And no reason he can't do it at senior level as well, but maybe a little bit more nous needed. Again, executing a really good over this. You just maybe need to just think outside the box, think of a couple of little alternatives. A guy will get a hold of you eventually, and then it's a case of the reply and how you come back. And you can just, I think that the thing that's really impressive is that you can see the plan, you can see what they're clearly trying to do, the field's set for it, and so far he's executed basically every delivery thus far. This one might be a tad too wide. We'll wait the signal. I think he might be okay.
Yeah. Well,
no, it is wide. And again, if you're going to miss, that's the spot to miss.
Exactly. Yep. The first ball sits, he's come back very well. He's Michael Stafford. He'll be relishing this opportunity to take on some of the senior teammates in that Japan squad.
That struck hard, just short of the man running around onto the offside. So after being hit for a 6, the first ball at over, he came back incredibly well with Michael Stafford. Just the 2 wides, and then that last ball being struck into the offside for 1. 117 for 4. He finishes with 1 for 20 to his name. Let's await. Tani Kelly's taken his hat off, so
choice here, just watching Captain Nucci on the bowling choice for the final over. Just decided to go with Hugo Tani Kelly.
Neeraj has worked his bowlers around maturely in this situation. 1 over of Ben AI meant that he just a little bit flexible in what he could do with this last over. I don't hate this decision, to be honest. Tony Kelly, 1 for 9 off his 2 overs here. We'll just ask a different question of these two in the middle who have become accustomed to the quick pace. Oh, and Ito Davis looks to launch, and launch he does. We've got a good view of that at this end. This one was 6 from the moment it came off the middle of his bat. This one, good comeback from Tony Kelly. There should be chat of 2 and they will come back. Just a lot of leverage in Ethel Davis's game. Oh, goes again. Yeah, they've given up on it.
This is brilliant from Ethel Davis. And with that shot, brings up his 50. He does. And, geez, not too far short of a 100 partnership between these two either. What are we, another 8 runs from it? But they've certainly changed the match, these two. This can't tell. 4 for 39 at one stage until these two came together. Again, doesn't seem to get a hold of this one, but there will be another 2 on the cards.
Playing himself into player of the match contention, certainly. Benjamin Ethel Davis, and yeah, as we said, he's the one running the social media account, so maybe Alan Kerr will have to step up and pump Benjamin Ethel Davis's tyres, because he strikes me as someone who's not going to do it himself. They'll be talking to again here. In the end, they turn it down. Maybe just a chance for Takahashi to load up. Ethel Davis is fuming. Well, Takahashi might be sick of turning back and running quick 2s. In the end, he gets an opportunity here. The last ball of the innings. Swatted, and for 4. It was a tough one for the outfielder to run around and collect. It's a 4 to finish the innings. 1, 3, 8 for 4. And an incredible comeback from the East Kanto Sunrisers, who at one point were 39 for 4 in the 8th over, to post 138 for 4 with an unbeaten stand of 99 from 48 deliveries, Garth. That is a masterclass, and well, it just gives Wataru Miyoichi and the West Kanto Hurricanes a couple of questions in the dugout at the innings break.
Yep, you're completely right, Daniel. I think it was just the brilliance of the 2 batsmen, Ibi Takahashi and Benjamin Ethel Davis. Of course, Mitchell Jamison adding 19 earlier on before that. But as you said earlier, it wasn't really the error of the bowling. It was just some classic hitting, being aware of field placements, some lovely clean strikes to all parts of the ground, especially Benjamin Ethel Davis over that mid-wicket region. He pumped a few over there. But as you say, 99 run partnership. And taking the East Kanto Sunrisers from 39 for 4 to 138 for 4 off 15 overs. It's going to be a tough chase, this one. But Miyoichi, he'll have 10 minutes to talk to his team about how they go about that. It's a pretty formidable score.
Yeah. Quick look at the bowling figures there, just running up and down the scorecard. It was Drake versus Tony Kelly as to who was to bowl the final over, and I don't know if Wataru Miyoichi would want to have his decision back again, but it was always going to be tough either way. 2 guys who were in form and at the peak of their powers, seemingly. Yeah, staggering innings in the end. Very much an innings of 2 halves. Maybe the morning surface a little tricky prospect for the Sunrisers, but they were able to come back well. And I suppose the one thing that West Kanto can take into consideration is they look to chase 139 in a few moments' time. The final question to you is, well, they've seen that it can be done even when you put in a hole, so if they can load up in the power play and give themselves a couple of maybe milestones and checkpoints in the chase, they can kind of plan it out who do you kind of see from the West Country Hurricane side of things as to who could step up in this situation and chase the target down?
Yeah, well, Lachlan Yamamoto Lake's going to play a big part. He'll come out and open for the team, perhaps alongside the captain Miyuchi. It'll be interesting to see where he places himself in the batting order actually, but well, Lachlan, of course, Guinness Book of Records record holder alongside Kendall Karawaki Fleming. He's a power hitter as Lachlan, and if he can get his team off to a good start, well, it's possible. Of course, they'll be a little disappointed that Josh Brown's passport wasn't legit, because he certainly would have helped the cause. But well, in about 8 minutes' time, we'll see the team come out and go about their way and chasing down this good score of 138 for 4. In the meantime, we'll take a break and be back with you just prior to their innings beginning.
Umpires eager and out, ready to go. West Canter Hurricanes opening pair ready to go. Just a little final conference for the Sunrisers as they set about their defence of 138. West Canter requiring 139. Required rate just over 9 and over. Of course, a 15 over a side game due to the wet weather here yesterday. Quite frankly, it's a miracle. Personally, I think that we've had a 15 over game put on here. An unbelievable job's been done by Mahesh Papage, and in the build-up to the tournament, Todd Luckhurst is on his way back to Australia, of course, the consultant here, and the many staff, but not only the JCA, but the players as well, getting in on the act. I've rolled off a few of the covers as well with Alan Kerr. Very much a team operation here, and not quite a full game of cricket, but almost the next best thing. Hot and sunny Sarno. Saturday, May 3.
Yeah, halfway through what is known as Golden Week in Japan, a series of national holidays. So, a time not to be on a train or at a bus stop. It is an incredibly busy season for travel. Most companies having 10 days leave for their employees, so about to get underway in the second innings. Chase of 139 for victory. The West Canter Hurricanes.
Shivam Shukla and Lachlan Yamamoto Lake opening the batting for West Canter. No Josh Brown today. A little more onus on the shoulders of Yamamoto Lake. West Canter in pursuit of 139. Shout there as West Canter and fucking Yamamoto Lake might have copped one on the body there. He's on his haunches for a brief moment. Yamamoto Lake on the pull. So no sign of action over on field number 2 between Anthony Tanzai. A little attempt at a ramp there from Yamamoto Lake to get off strike with the fire being scored. Another right now, keeping wicket for Sunrisers. Lane is just a change of number at the back of one of the orange shirts here. Short and maybe miss. Well down the leg side, it'll be 5 wides. And not going to complain too much, West Canter. Sean Slater just dragging a little down the leg side. Fast bowler with a lot of promise, hailing from Perth, in between first and second grade in Perth for Melville, a very strong club in Western Australia. There's been plenty of murmurs around Japanese cricket. Very excited about this man. Struck on the pad, finished that one angling down the leg side. Japanese fast bowling stocks grow by 1. Competition around the group now, strengthening the overall Japanese push. This one's gone straight through past the keeper as well. No, it's buys in fact, so Ratner there, maybe just misreading it a tad. Haven't come off the bat. West Carlton Hurricanes are already into double figures. 10 for no loss.
Off to a flyer, really, aren't they? So.
Strange one. Speaking to Duncan Harrison last night over dinner, and talking about sometimes there's that false sense of pressure at times when you're chasing down a target and you're always thinking, how are you going to find the next run? Are you going to do anything? Was I going to do any boundaries? I think sometimes you forget that there's every chance that the odd bad ball go down the leg side. There's a few that get leaked here and there, sort of add to the cause. And we've seen it first over here this time, so not a single run off the bat.
To the Quinto Altadobel, ball in hand. Protection on the boundary for Quinto is deep square and deep third man, squarish third man. And pulls out of the run-up. Not the first for today.
Yeah, maybe just a little nervy with the dampness at each end. Also was a member of that under-19 World Cup squad that featured in the tournament proper in 2020 in South Africa. Moment that, and a moment matched by the class of what will be 2026. Big full toss. It'll be a no ball signalled. You also run off the bat, struck on Motor Lake's gloves. Notice in that bowling stride there as well. He really bowled that from a yard back. Balls at both ends, just struggling to find their radar to begin today. Free hit. Did see he's come to cash in a couple of times. And with the field, of course, with a change in striker as well, with that extra run that scored.
So now we have a long on and square, forward of square, with 2 on the boundary rope, of course being in the power play.
Goes big, watch out in the tea room. Gone a long way back.
Yeah, it was a big hit, wasn't it? Landed on the steps down to the arena, I guess you'd call it. Yeah.
The shape of the ball after that one as well. Might have just struck the concrete up there. get a chance to see that part of the ground from the commentary box we're sat at. This JPL, if you're sitting in the tea room, keep your eyes peeled. Outside edge, they should collect another boundary. Slice of fortune for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, in comparison, the Hurricanes are off to a flyer, aren't they? This Canto very slow in their power play. Just looking across the ground too, Daniel, it looks like the game perhaps there has been called off, doesn't it? I'm just looking at the teammates spread around the ground here.
He's not quite picking up. The bell in the action appears to be being accustomed to seeing. On the up, sliced over Point, who's been forced to run back, and he's about 5 or 10 yards away from chasing it down. Another boundary. Shukla moving up to the offside. Live stream. Fans continue to team in watching the stream. Garth Thomas alongside me, Daniel Bezic in the comm box today, and for the rest of the tournament, looking forward to it. Ratner appeals as well over the stump side wager. We are a long way back, but we've got a good view of that one at least. 26 for no loss, 2 overs gone. Garth off to a flyer.
Yeah, it certainly are. In comparison, Miss Cantor just had the 13 runs on the board, having lost an early wicket as well. And it's hard to pick who's going to win this year's edition of the JPL. That draft has just had a few players swap teams, perhaps evening it out a bit more. As mentioned previously, only 2 teams have been unable to lift the trophy at this tournament. Most successful team being South Canto Super Kings. They've won it 4 times. Following them is East Canto have had 3 victories over the previous 9 editions.
Here's Sajid coming in. I was off the wrong foot as we see. You watched a little bit of him in the warm-up. Likes to move the ball into the right-hander. Just bring up that point there. Get that score updated. Shukla striking all those boundaries, so that fixed up in a moment on the live stream. Also have the JCA app for all your live scores around international, domestic and club cricket in Japan. There's university cricket going on today as well. Ball big full toss, a big no ball. And this is real fill your boot stuff time, because they're going to come back and run a second. So that's 3 off this delivery, plus you've got a freebie next ball.
Yeah, not a good start from East Canto with the ball, is it? Really extras up to 11.
Free hit. Shukla over the top. Not out of the middle of the bat. They'll only get the 2, but 2 more closer to that magical number of 139 that all of a sudden doesn't look that far away now. Game of real momentum when we thought that East Canto had won the tug of war. Now all of a sudden, an almighty reply, albeit with a little bit of help from the bowlers, but Good comeback that from Sajid. Always a tricky prospect when you've got a guy with an unconventional action and having to readjust. It can be quite difficult. Bowled him. He's finally found his rhythm. Sajid, and clips the side of off stump. That's the breakthrough that East Kanto so desperately needed.
Yeah, the ball just veering into off stump there. Shubham Shukla has to return to the pavilion, or should we call it tent. Shukla plays his cricket locally for the Kawasaki Knight Riders. First wicket, and much needed for the East Kanto Sunrisers. Paid the price for some bowling that's just been not quite up to the level expected. Too many extras already just after 1 and a bit overs. The scorers will be still trying to keep it.
They've been kept on their toes, you've got to say.
Yeah, they have.
The end of the last innings and the start of this one. It's an unenviable task. It's a thankless task as well.
Yeah.
The new batter. Full toss. He might have picked out the fielder though.
Yeah.
And he has. It's under the waist.
Yeah, looks to be Benjamin Ethel Davis taking that down the boundary, taking it comfortably, probably moving 3-4 metres to his right. But good catch. So the cameraman did a good job picking that up.
Yeah. It's made that catch look quite easy. Tricky one, that hit hard and flat, and as you said, had to move a few metres to his right.
Yeah, it is a thankless task, isn't it? Scoring. I should mention, yeah, we've got Nick Glynn and Hiromi Ward doing the job today. Hiromi, a very passionate scorer by the looks. He had a number of different coloured pens. It's old school style, very expertise. Much appreciated from the JCA. Those two doing the job down there. So.
Looking over to the nets, there's a few final touches for a couple of players ready for the tournament. Actually looks like Shogo Kimura in the nets there, loading up, of course, a great story. And Japanese cricketer, senior international himself, having converted himself from another sport.
Yeah, very professional athlete, and what Shogo brought to the Japanese squad is his professionalism and transferring his skills from baseball. Spends a lot of time practicing the art of cricket. A few trips to Sri Lanka. Continuous professional development.
Two slips in for the new batter. This one also not a free hit. Hatchet ball there, of course.
That's brilliant running, isn't it? Just as that Kato Stafford has come to the wicket. Quickly made a loud call to his partner. It was always coming back for two. But, well run.
An eventful over from this Kanto perspective. Not the greatest result, having lost 2 wickets in the bounce. JCA app, live scores from around the country. Times are in the 60s today. Times for cricket field too, so never short of action here in the country.
Yeah, do subscribe if you're wanting to see more Japanese cricket, of course, on YouTube, Japan Cricket channel. They're across all the media, social media platforms as well, Facebook, X, and Instagram.
Maybe Takahashi in. Begins with the dot. That's the off-spinning action of his. Shade Grand Swan. Over the top, straight, aiming for the sight screen. He's missed it, but not by a lot. 4 to the total. Lachlan Yamamoto Lake on a mission against his senior international teammate. Come back from Takahashi, but not able to get off strike. As the target now just 100 away. I say just 100 away, knowing how quickly Kanto went about it.
It's going to be an intriguing contest from here on. The game really is in the balance. You know how destructive Yamamoto Lake is. While he's out there, Miss Kanto still feel they've got this chase in control. Perhaps preferring to bowl to the left-hander, maybe Takahashi. Protection down at long and deep mid-wicket.
A little bit more round arm that occasion. Takahashi was the leading wicket taker last JPL. 9 scalps. Went at less than a run of ball, 5.08. An outstanding economy, especially we've seen the scores being put up so far here. Packed offside field. Could have Stafford all into the leg side where there is 2 men out. Still pick up 2. Has that extra level of control, Takahashi in his bowling, maybe in comparison to some of his contemporaries. 41 to 2. If you look at the order, was Kanto putting Hugo Tony Kelly in next, and use of course that Josh Brown-sized hole in the batting lineup. So it's going to be a tough proposition for a team who haven't had the best of luck in the build-up to the tournament with that. We'll be here tomorrow.
But if they go on to win this, how good is that for their confidence?
Yeah,
right?
massive bonus, isn't it?
Josh perhaps following via the JCA app.
Pacific Lifeline playing.
So you think he's in transit?
I believe he's on his way, yeah.
Right.
So Sean Slater in again. Yamamoto Lake wanted to shuffle over. From what sources, and by sources I mean his agent, he said that he was on a plane first thing this morning. So he gets in around about 5-6 hours time. On the up, Yamamoto Lake wide of mid-on for 4.
Yeah, another seamless shot from Moto Lake. It's taking a bit longer than usual from probably getting used to this wicket.
Probably a level of maturity in it too. He saw Shukla get off to such a fly, they picked up a bunch of extras there as well. He didn't need to go incredibly hard. He dug that one out well. Well bowled by Sean Slater. from what I can gather talking to Kendall this morning, Kendall is going to race down and try and meet him somewhere, and he thinks that the trains might be the better route home because, as you say, Golden Week is a very busy time on the roads here, and there's a bit of traffic all of a sudden it turns into a 6-hour trip, so hoping it gets through relatively quickly and ready to go tomorrow for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, for those wondering, Sano's probably about 80k north of Tokyo.
Drives straight back to the bowler.
Sano in Tochigi Prefecture, probably about an hour from Tokyo, hour and a half perhaps, depending on traffic. Sano known for its ramen, has a town mascot, which I don't know if you've met in your travels, Daniel. Sano Maru.
Wide of the keeper. There's a shout for LBW. It's turned down, missing the off stump, angling across. So wait for the signal here from the umpire. No, it's actually ladies very quiet. Yeah, Sanamaru. Haven't spotted Sanamaru yet. I've seen obviously a million pictures of Sanamaru. It's a great mascot.
Yeah. Japan love their mascots. Not only every town or prefecture have a mascot, but often companies too have their own mascot.
Carlton Snapper takes on the infield. A clean pick up. Direct hit would have been interesting. He jet off as soon as he could though. Carlton Snapper might have given him the edge. 5 overs gone. 49.
So you're saying earlier, Daniel, Shoma plays his cricket in Perth?
Yes.
I wonder if he's come across Lachlan Yamamoto Lake on the turf before. Of course, from Yamamoto Lake. There's a younger brother, Keitha Yamamoto Lake, who was a part of the under-19 squad a year or so back. Now is in the men's senior squad alongside his brother. Fast bowler is keeper Yamamoto Lake. Once thought they could put a statue up at the local 7-Eleven after keeper took 7 for 11 against Vanuatu 2 years ago. Yeah, it hasn't taken to fruition, unfortunately.
New bowler in. Misfield across himself on in the end, and then himself. Now the other one was Willerton, I believe, so some crossover there at some point. At the same point we kind of raised about Brisbane. It's true in the West as well. Oh, I think it's been put down by Navaratna. Completely beat Yamamoto Lake here. Some good flight and turn.
Missed opportunity, that one.
On the reverse and dropped. Not the easiest of catches, but certainly gettable.
No fault in the shot. He just didn't quite time it to get it over point there. So he got away with it, didn't Yamamoto Lake? Goes again with the reverse sweep. Misses out this time. No doubt his parents, Heather and Craig, will be watching in from Perth. If so, hello to you both. Hope you're both well. Goes for a third time. This time connects, and connects in a perfect placement for 4 runs. Good reward there for Yamamoto Lake.
Craig's chimed in actually to clarify some of our comments. Sean actually went to school with him.
All right.
Yeah, they're mates. So the Japanese connection once again coming through the network. Battle between Yamamoto Lake and Yamamoto has been an intriguing one. End of the over. This goes for 8. But plenty of encouraging signs for the leggy 56-2.
Yeah, so current run rate 9.5, required run rate just over 9. So they're on target. 8 wickets in hand. I feel that this is going to go down to the wire, Daniel, this match.
Someone who watched the under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup qualifier, one thing I think we did lament was the lack of a really close game. I know 50-over cricket at times can sometimes meander like that, but it would be quite fitting, I think, in some ways, that the first game of the T20 League is all of a sudden a thriller after we've had so many one-sided games. Double change. Looks like Benjamin Davis rolling over with his offies and probably front runner for player of the match today. The opportunity. Oh, chance. Oh, mix up. He's gone. He got a little bit unlucky there, Yamamoto Lake. The ball actually struck the stumps on the other end. Anton Davis picked up, and good calm and presence of mind to complete this run out. Yes, he palmed it onto the stumps. The throw wasn't perfect back to the keeper, but it was good enough.
Yeah, very unfortunate that wasn't it. In the end, it's in the book. Enough of that, not doing enough, taking the bails off. Walter Lake is to return to the 10. Third wicket falling, 57 on the board. Yeah, watching those under-19 matches, Daniel, I did feel for you. At times I know you're also having to commentate on your own, which is never easy, but yeah, there was not one close contest, really, was there?
Even the one that threatened was that PNG Fiji with Gabriel Franks showed why he's one of the better players and closed it. And it was match 6 of the tournament as well when we already had a winner decided. So, yeah, look, I don't know how my voice got through that week of cricket, I've got to say. I'm very grateful to be joined by you over the next 3 days, and the pineapple hard lollies, I've got to say, got a workout from 7-Eleven over the last 4 days or so. New batter in for West Council Viniaya. He did make a big impact here with the bat. He did get hit around a little bit in that over that he bowled. He bowled in a tough spot, in fairness to him. Thrown into the deep end there, but man, it was whacking him to all parts of the ground, and the man running in for East Kanto.
Yeah, partnership needed here perhaps for West Kanto, and we've got the youth of Kato Stafford alongside the experience of Vinay.
Big shout. He might have just got outside the line, I think, Kato Stafford.
Yeah, long scare from Benjamin Davis to the umpire, perhaps just asking a question. Stafford looking just to lap this down to find leg.
Wants to go again, Stafford, but unable to execute. 7 overs in the books, 58 for 3 as the brakes are put on West Kanto a tad.
Well, the good news here is that the weather forecast looks good for this afternoon, tomorrow and Monday. You heard the advisory about heat stroke on Monday, expected to get up to around 26 degrees here. Unfortunately, on ground 2 though, the game has been cancelled, so no result there. Each team will share a point. This tournament, of course, round robin affair, finishing with a final on the Monday and 3rd and 4th playoff.
On the full, for a moment, it might have been fingertips action at mid-wicket before. I think I just heard that brush.
Yeah, I reckon you're right. I reckon he got a finger to it. Would have been an absolute specky.
Would have probably been the most outstanding catch I've ever seen. Just not quite finding his rhythm there.
Cameraman just unable to pick that up. But
understandably,
yeah,
rocketed. I think it's Jamison there at mid-wicket as well. Marquee man. And for a moment there, he was completely beaten Naya, but just well, and they'll collect 2. Little collision there between the 2 fielders, but
you're right. He did well to adapt there, didn't he? Just knew he wasn't at the half volley. Just how he just chipped it over the bowler. Be comfortable 2.
Again, well fighted by Lee Felbert. Continues. And let's help part in the Futures League this year.
Yeah, of course, one of the rules in the JPL is each team having to have 5 members that are under 23 in age.
Kato Stafford pulling. There's a man out there, and it's been put down after about 4 bobbles. I think it's Ibi Takahashi, who looked really comfortable until the end. Thought he actually had it on the 2nd or the 3rd go.
That said, I lost count, but yeah, I thought he had actually, I think 4 touches perhaps. Not just getting a hold of this, goes again, and this time he's found the gap, and it carries for the maximum 6. Great shot. This time
it's a no ball too. It's a big moment. He overstepped, we tell, or are there too many fielders out? I think I might have seen Kato Stafford maybe look around and point out. You rare miss from Kendall Katawaki Fleming if that's the case. Either way, it's a free hit. Loads up again, hard and flat, but Takahashi will pick up. It's been fits and spurts, hasn't it? The Kanto chase, the early blows, and then the 3 quick wickets and counter attack again. Not too dissimilar, really, to the first innings in this game. Again, well flighted into Aya, but as well to chip into the leg side, and a missed field will mean another 2. I think that's Takeda out there.
Yep. Fielding team aware of the speed of Kato Stafford, therefore going the other end, Vinay, but he does well to get back for a second. Slight hesitation on the turn. 8 overs done here. 19 runs coming off that over. Big over for West Canto. Score. 77 for 3, 8 overs is gone. 62 needed off 7 overs.
Run rate not an issue at this point for West Canto. Has to come up with a new plan. Davis around the wicket meanwhile. Side, I think about 2, but chase around to 1. Mid wicket. I think for his thoughts at the moment, this game ebbing and flowing. This one.
I'm just noticing West Canto don't have a match this afternoon. So the
on the up over cover should be chat of 2 again. You're right. I think speaking to the group, they were grateful to have kind of the bye on day 1, hoping that Josh Brown will only miss the 1 game. We've got North v South here in the second game on the SICG number 1 ground, so looking forward to that. And White's going on that sweep, stacking 2 losers for 1. Good to see Canto Lions captain Sakurano Thomas go about his business here on the main field. First shot from his coach in the under-19 World Cup qualifier as well. Made a point actually at the closing ceremony of the 19s. I told him I'd give him some editorial balance if you're one of those dads that likes to maybe talk down his son's achievement. But he said no, look, he said he's been quite fair from what I've heard. He's been measured as an operator, so
again just looking to turn this onto the onside couple of Stafford.
The night over, it's just to stem the 12 runs. He's done a pretty good job of doing just that. 9 overs gone. This one's to Hurricane 81 for 3. That over going to 4. It can be, it can be a family affair at times. That 2023 T20 World Cup qualified in Papua New Guinea in East Asia Pacific. I was joined by Charles Anini Sr., whose son is probably PNG's leading all-rounder. His other son also played international cricket for PNG. The Aminis have a long lineage, not just grandparents and grandsons, but also on the women's side, they're not wives, they're daughters, and the Amini family is just an incredible family. But it's also conducive. It also happens in association with quite a bit. There are sometimes some families are just that ingrained in the cricketing culture and take on a big role, and it almost becomes their life in a way.
Yeah, you could throw the Thurgate name into that for
was
the
one I was thinking of.
Japanese cricket. Chris, would he have been umpire on game round 2?
Right. Today, not required. Oh, has he picked out the man at mid-off? He's gone. A very subdued wicket celebration that from the East Canto side. For a moment there, I thought he might have actually put it down. In the end, it's an early strike for Abhishek Anand, who picks up a wicket with his first ball. Benjamin Nicholas-Davis completes the catch. So maybe just knowing that they're a little behind in the game here and they needed that wicket. Just a good chance for everyone to get involved in a huddle and to get Kendall Kalawaki Fleming around and chatting to his team at least.
Yeah, very subdued celebration, wasn't it? We just for a moment there thought he may have spilt the ball, but trying to capture who that was. It was Anand, wasn't it? Took the catch. 81 for 4. the 10th over. Of course, this was the part of the innings where East Kanto just took off. 2-3 overs of 15 and 16. The partnership between Ito Davis and Takahashi was simply superb. Got them to where they ended up on 138. A 99 partnership it was.
Ali, new batter for West Kanto. Sliced over point. Just be the one. I think that actually brings up a little bit of extra pressure on young Kazuma Kakasaka now. I did take the captaincy reins for one match in that World Cup campaign with Nikhil Pal going down injured with that hamstring. Trouble him for a little bit now. He's captain the team on the Singapore tour as well. They went on in the build-up to the tournament, which was heavily curtailed by rain, but it was a good hit out still for them. And you could tell coming into the tournament they were the best prepared team. And looks like we're going to come around and look at the left-hander. Bit of a change in the field, of course. Power play's done, so Q end of back into the hands of Cadillac Fleming.
Yeah, I'm actually just searching for what team Nikhil Pal's playing with in the JPL.
He's sitting out. He's,
okay,
yeah,
right.
sitting exams, I think.
Of course, yep.
Yeah, he had to race out. He wasn't there for the closing ceremony either. No ball. Oh, they're going to run a single as well. So a free hit for the newer batter. What a great opportunity this is. Keep your eye in early. Yeah, Nick, I think would have actually been unavailable on the last day had Japan played.
Right.
So.
Yep. Yeah, I do remember Coach is talking about the strictness that his school has around his availability for the team. I know he couldn't make the trip to Dubai. Such an important part of the Japan under-19's makeup is Nikhil Pal.
That'll be a wide, so the free hit will have to be bowled again.
Muhammad Ali plays his cricket locally for the Tokyo Wombats, renowned club here in Japan.
Free hit is not pounced upon. Good short ball back from None. Good comeback. Yeah, there's been quite a bit of history built with the club system here. Speaking to a few people around the traps, the Chiba Sharks, Wombats, just two of the well-renowned clubs in the region. And a good foul ball from None, and obviously Kanto is a big area for cricket in general, but there's organised cricket as far as Okinawa and the ends of Hokkaido as well, so it is growing. Good slow ball again. And sort of sliced over into that point region once more. An eventful over. One that I think West Kanto might just be slightly happier with. We'll 10 off, the wickets fell, maybe on as even. 6 to 4. And 53 off the last 5 overs. 6 wickets in hand. And we can look at the batting lineup of West Kanto. We've got 20 carries still to come. Great to see the man is a player who can give a little bit of whack as well. Intrigue here. Super Overs in place of this tournament as well. If we have a tie, Takahashi changes ends.
New electronic scoreboard I see at the other end of the ground here. Of course, the old one having come to an end of a long life, really.
Bottom edge. It'll be just the one. Yeah, it was a real shame that old scoreboard had taken a bit of a tumble. Didn't get a chance to see it in person, unfortunately. But
yeah, it had harsh weather elements, of course, here in Japan. Incredibly hot summers, reaching up to high 30s. I don't get too much snow here in this area.
Always the outstretch. There's a big appeal from Navaratna.
Yeah, I reckon his back foot was good here. But,
maybe just the bottom edge of the pads of Navaratna again as well.
These Kanto bowlers slowly tuning the game back into their favour here.
Still not quite sure who I'd rather be in this situation. I think maybe East Council sort of knowing the situation and knowing who they've got from a bowling point of view, maybe just happier.
Yeah, we may just see the experience and knowledge of
Mix up.
Karawaki Fleming come through, won't we?
Yeah.
And just trying to keep the pressure on, pick the right bowlers for the right moments, key matchups. Fleming just coming now to the side of his bowler. Last couple of overs, just going for 4 and a 5. Last 3 overs, 4, 5, 4.
I'm going to go back to retail third. He's still got 2 out of 10 to watch to go, and still G shouldn't want them. Retail with 1 and should be on with 2. Maybe up around. One more of Sean Slater as well. Might have just found the field of drops. Takada, tough one. In the end, it cost his team 4 runs.
Yeah, right in front of the commentary box here, Takada spills out one, and it could be a costly one. This brings momentum back to West Kanto. This match really is in the balance. Every play will lead toward victory or defeat.
A couple of stats of that boundary, why outside the off stump, and the way he was able to kind of work it straight at the wicket. Good presence of mind, just shows you that he's seen the ball well and early.
He had a couple of innings that he struggled in a bit in the under-19s, didn't he?
Yeah, just started to get going a little bit, didn't he? You could tell it was there, just couldn't hit gaps, and came good there and scored of note. Swiped into the offside. And ended up being an easy 2. And you could tell he had it there. I think the slowness of the deck and maybe the slowness of the under-19 bowl as well. Type of play, just the Spurs had it on a little bit.
Yeah. Fair comment.
And come down the track again, Harley, but straight to cover.
he's got a crucial part to play here, doesn't he, Cousin Stafford? You know, he's the set batsman, 24 off 24 balls. Can he lead his team home for victory?
Well, he's gone aerial, but there is a man running in. And the catch is held on to comfortably, grateful into the chest of Kentor to the bell. Ends Muhammad Ali's day. And Tail picks up a key wicket.
You can understand that from Ali. He was looking to get some momentum with the use of his feet. And you could see he was just wanting to get on with his innings. Try to go over the mid-wicket region to find the gap, but unable to do so. Of course, that was the last ball of the over. 12 gone now. 42 runs needed in just 3 overs. So his last 3-4 overs have just, the momentum has changed. As East Kanto assert a little more pressure. Benjamin Davis will be coming into bowler's third and final over. And Kato Stafford, well, he just wants an incoming teammate to find the boundary, help him out a bit. The afternoon matches were due to get underway at 2:30. So,
has he picked out the man, Kato Stafford? Yes, good catch. And that could be the final nail in the coffin. Well judged catch running in. Davis. Then with the golden arm. Yeah, I spoke to Alan Perry, said that the afternoon games also get that half an hour grace delay with the rain. So what they've just done is that with everything pushed back, they've got a little bit of time to kind of take into proceedings, which common sense kind of prevailing in that case, right? Yeah. I think we've still got 15 over game here for the morning games. But to be honest, again, looking last night, I thought we were. Right, everyone had pulled the rain card thinking that we were going to play it all. Come out and get close to a full game of cricket. Great achievement on ground number 1. Ground number 2, unfortunately, not quite getting the same luck. But
so 2 new batsmen here for West Kanto. Jake Casada Nan and Hugo Tani Kelly, both yet having faced the ball. Difficult situation they find themselves in. 42 runs still needed.
Left-hander as well. In the end gets struck by the Ibrahim Takahashi throw. Brings Tony Kelly on strike. Got the power. No doubt about that. And got the shots as well, so the target might just be a fraction out of reach. If he was to get going here, he might get a little bit closer than maybe some would suspect. Big sweep shot first. Ball has been given out, stumped. Benjamin Ethel Davis can do no wrong, it seems. Navaratna whips the bails off.
He did a good job, didn't he? They were keeping the outside of the back. Hugo Tani looking to play it out onto the onside. Some sharp work there from Supan Navaratna. And as you say, Benjamin Ethel Davis throwing his name in the hat for Man of the Match award earlier on. 55 off 30 balls. And he's followed that up with a couple of wickets.
Kelly would lose the footing there, but it wasn't uplifted, it was just a foot outstretched. respect to the man. He's going to, at least in here, looking like they've avoided an almighty scare in Sano. Unlucky maybe no Josh Brown today for them, which might have impacted him a little bit, but showed enough in patches here to win this game of cricket without him. Listen to the offside. Needs to take the new batter. Top edge, and a simple one for the captain to take, albeit running over the synthetic strip. Ethel Davis' dream day continues. There'll be someone else writing the match report today.
Yeah, he deserves a break from his social media commitments, does Benjamin Ethel Davis. Superb performance earlier on with the bat alongside Takahashi, and now with the ball. Just applying the final nails to the coffin for East Kanto. The defending champs look to start the 10th edition with a win. Still possible for West Kanto, just not an easy scenario. We have 13 balls remaining, 39 runs needed. Final ball of the spell for Ethel Davis, and it's a dot. He finishes with the figures of 3 for 7 to go alongside his 55 runs. So good day out for him.
Moment. Super overs and
yeah, we were
finishes, and I mean, it's not impossible still,
no.
but just one way this game is going.
Yeah, 4 wickets in the last 7 balls. And momentum well and truly with East Kanto. This afternoon match for them, they'll be up against Kansai Chargers. They're on ground 2. Swatted down to long ball and overthrow. Chance here to pick up an extra 1. And I think, they're coming back for an extra 2, but it'll be safe.
Well then, maybe the game awareness from the deep backward square field. And mind you, there's no one within QE being able to back up that throw. Seems a little more interesting at least. Good Yorker, fired in front. Men's Premier off spinner.
Well fielded off his own bowling from Ibi Takahashi.
Beggars can't be choosers at this stage. Leg byes given.
Sabuki Ozeki, a part of that under-19 team, alongside his fellow teammate Chihaya Arakawa, both Sano lads, who are playing the cricket here.
That has been murdered.
Stunning shot.
Well, today, this game might be out of reach, but I'll tell you what, that's a great signal. West Country knowing that when they're back to full strength, starting lineup might be a little bit longer than we might have anticipated. Struck that well as well, albeit straight to the fielder.
Yeah, I'm just looking out towards the stand. I can't see his sister with a couple of her friends, but they did have pictures of Jake to support his cause. But what a stunning shot that was. He's belted it over long on. And as you say, throughout the tournament, he's quite comfortable now. He can come in and get some quick runs for the team. I think that's the main difference that you mentioned earlier. What have I seen over the past 3 years? I think just the depth of each team, Daniel. You now have 7 quality bowlers you can throw the ball to, and also in terms of the bat, you can't just get through the top 6 and think the job's done. We've now got talented batsmen coming in for the latter order.
Mate, so I need a 29 off this last over, so it's still mathematically possible. I'm not sure we can say that this game's gone down to the final over, but there's plenty of positives out of this West Country performance in a way. I know they could play better, and I know that they've got another man joining the ranks. Two noises. And as for East Country, there's positives there as well, obviously winning this game, but knowing that they've had to almost do it the hard way. Top order, misfiring on the whole. Even Manetto Davis with an outstanding individual performance, made half a century at the back, with 3 wickets of ball.
Yeah, well, West Country, as mentioned, they have the bye this afternoon. They'll be next in action tomorrow against North Country Lions.
Bowled. Stumps are made a mess of. Kusaranan's late charge ending with the stumps being made a mess of. Here's Counter now. Inches away from victory, 9 down. Wisconsin unable to chase down the target. Sean Slater picks up his first wicket of the campaign.
Yeah, after a bit of a shaky start for Slater, his first over going for 10, he's come back well with the ball. Deserves that wicket, and as you say, it's all but over here. Victory will go to East Country Sunrisers. The match last year, West Country taking on North Country was a 140-run victory to West Country. Thanks to Josh Brown's 122 off, I want to say, about 53 balls.
Yeah, that'll do it.
It was certainly a one-sided affair, and perhaps the highest score in JPL history, 222.
Ryan Drake at number 11. And he might have just found mid-off. So East Country Sunrisers enjoy victory in the early session here on day 1, and they satisfyingly do it, bowling out their opposition inside 15 overs. West Country for 111 will win by 27 runs at the Sano International Cricket Ground. And Garth, there was very much a tug of war today. Both teams enjoyed being in the ascendancy, but on the balance of things, East Country Sunrisers just clicking when they needed to, and they edged their opponents deservedly on this occasion.
Yeah, the match was set up really from Ibi Takahashi and Benjamin Ito Davis with their partnership, just one short of 100. Those two got them into a pretty healthy score, I want to say, 138 of 15 overs. And in response, well, West Country, they got off to a hiss and a roar. That's thanks to a few extras afforded by the other team, but Kazuma Kato Stafford's 24 alongside Yamamoto Lake's 19. They had them in a good position at the halfway point, but from there it just sort of faded and pressure was exerted from the East Kanto bowlers. And it is a deserving victory to East Kanto, the defending champions. Do keep watching the match, I believe, probably getting underway at 3 p.m.
Yeah, we'll just get confirmation of that hopefully, but yeah, I believe 3 o'clock start. Still a half an hour gap
And
between two matches, just so everyone can tuck into some lunch, I think, as well.
Yeah, that match will be North Kanto Lions taking on the South Kanto Super Kings. So, want to take a break for us? We'll be back with you, I imagine, at 3 p.m.